There we go. Now here we are. Hello.
Okay. Hi.
Wow.
I'm excited to be here.
Yeah, thank you so much for this opportunity, dude. This is so surreal. This is so crazy.
Dude, I'm stoked to be a little part of your journey. Like I said, I got my start with people being willing to hop on and let me interview them. So
Oh, that's so
you never
crazy. Okay.
you never know where this is going to lead you.
Yeah,
Um
exactly.
so it's I'm humbled that you would think of me to ask. So again, thanks
Yes.
for doing that.
Yeah, of course. I mean, just right off the bat, I just it really just pulled me in after listening to your guys' newest album and just bangers after bangers and like just it's so crazy because I'm a very big heavy metal listener and I listen to
Sure.
just the crazy chunky stuff. And I did a little bit of research on you guys and I come to find out that you guys are a Christian metal band.
I'm a strong Christian and my faith is rooted in everything we do, but we don't market ourselves as a Christian band.
Oh, okay.
I I'm down to play with whoever, wherever.
Oh, okay.
I don't I don't we're not only playing Christian festivals or with Christian bands. In fact, all of my influences are like the Amity Affliction and Spirit Box, As I Lay Dying, of Mice and Men,
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Woe Is Me. Um, so yeah, I'm a firm believer in like that's been a huge part of my journey, but we're not. Uh, I wouldn't call us a Christian band.
Oh, okay.
Um, if people do, it doesn't hurt my feelings, and I'm not gonna correct them. It's like
Yeah.
if you wanna, that's fine. Like, I'll never like cower down from a conversation about it. But it's just really funny when you market yourself as a Christian band, how many less opportunities open up.
Yeah,
So it's
that's
like
yeah.
I'm not out here trying to save people. I'm not out here trying to convert. I'm just out here trying to spread some love and hope. And it bleeds into my lyrics,
Yeah.
obviously, but it's never. It comes from a place of like coming to the end of myself and finding what really means a lot to me. And I hope that the vulnerability of that helps people come to a conclusion to choose hope for their self. So like if anything, faith has grounded me and been like a strong anchor for me.
Yeah.
And people hear that and they want to pursue that for themselves. That's awesome. But it's really an the best way I can love on you is to be honest with you. And for me, like I I didn't really have a sense of purpose outside of my faith in Christ, and that's really anchored me into who I am and genuinely just wanting to be a better person and love people.
Yeah.
So
I
that's my pitch on it. It's like if people call us that, that's cool. Like I know some articles have done it, and I'm like, all right, cool. Like
yeah.
whatever you want to do. It's like if a Christian comes up and is like, "Hey, I want to support your band. Here's $5," and I'm like, I'm gonna wait for somebody that's not a Christian to give me $5. Ain't happening. Thank you.
Yeah, yeah,
Like, thank you
yeah.
for.
Uh,
So, yeah,
so one thing I really wanted to ask that really got me definitely interested in wanting to, reach out to you guys, especially on Instagram,
sure.
was your live performance in Dallas, Texas. That was fucking sorry, excuse me for my language, but
No, dude,
oh, okay.
look, you can, no, like, fuck. There we go.
Oh, okay.
Like,
I, yeah.
I'm not, no, like, you
Okay.
be you.
Okay. I
Um,
just don't know. Yeah, I don't
no,
know what
you
your
be you.
boundaries
Like,
are.
nah, I'm a big boy.
Oh, okay. Um,
Yeah, you're fine.
so I wanted to ask you, was that your first time performing live on stage? Was that live performance right there?
With Holy Name or with
Yeah,
Lacey Sturm?
with Holy Name.
Um, so my performance last year at Furnace Fest was my first live performance with Holy Name. And it was doing their song Creed with them. And that was wild, number one. But then getting to go perform a song that I wrote, Stained Glass, with them at Rock Against Traffic in Pomona.
Which is an
That
amazing
was the first
song, by the
time
way. Amazing song.
that's the first time I've ever had my lyrics, like, screamed back to me, and that's, like
So
that
crazy.
collaboration, like, I I wrote that song for my band, and I sent it to Tommy to see if he wanted to collab on it, and it naturally became a Holy Name song.
Yeah.
So obviously, like, it reached a lot more people under the Holy Name banner, so I was just honored to be a part of their catalog, but at the same time, like, getting to when someone invites you to, like, perform with them, that's kinda like them co-signing on you,
Right.
in some weird way. So it's like,
They're also kind
I
of like
felt
sticking their
it.
neck out too, you know?
Yeah, like, this guy might mess up, but we believe in him,
Yeah, yeah.
And it was really surreal. I cried like a child after, because, like I said, it was the first time I've ever had my lyrics scream back at me. So,
Yeah, I wanted to
man,
know
it
like
was
how that
yeah,
was.
it was euphoric, but at the same time, like, one thing that I really try to do is, ground myself in the moment of that. Like, a lot of people, like, just go with the flow and just go off of just pure adrenaline and emotion, and I'm like, I did that at Furnace Fest, and that's fine, like, everybody processes in their different ways, but for me as a artist and as a performer, I'm like, "Okay, in this high, how can I ground myself and be present?"
Right.
It For me, like, a lot of times I end up flat on my face, like, praying or something, and this time, it was seeing all these people having a moment, I guess, because I feel like everybody can gravitate towards this song in different ways. Like, for me, it was feeling jaded by, the church, and then reconciling that jadedness in my own heart and
Yeah.
figuring out, like, why do I feel this way? And it's like, oh, maybe it was somebody that did something that maybe wasn't very Christ-like and hurt me. And that wasn't God, that was them. And so through, like, I grew up going to a Baptist church, and there was, like, stained glass everywhere, and the vision was that stained glass, like, being, like, crunching under my feet.
Oh,
So
okay.
yeah, it's like, not that I wanted to blow the church up or anything, but
Yeah, no,
it's
I didn't think that.
some of the things that I grew up hearing and thinking, I just don't check off my list anymore.
Mhm.
Um, and a lot of that is, like, the politics that go into that. Um, so that song is really a church song for the unchurched, because it came from a place of being unchurched for 10 years and justifying working in, like, Christian media to do that.
Yeah.
Um, but instead of it being about people, like, it's me breaking free from that and, like, reconciling what was in my heart and figuring out how to do better myself. So yes, it's about people that hurt you, used and abused, and you're left out, like, you feel like you've been thrown out to the wolves. But at the same time, it's like, hey, like, we all mess up, we all make mistakes, and we're all gonna say some dumb stuff in our life, and we just have to be willing to own up to it, like, bite our tongue and move forward. Um, and hopefully people hear it and they don't hear the negative aspect of it, but they just feel like they're ready to rage against some of the hurt that's in their life. Like, the name Heal the Hurt, like, everything we put out, I want to be used as a vessel of healing or pushing you towards that. Um,
Definitely got
because there's so
that.
much negativity in the world, right?
Mhm.
Everybody's always got something to say about somebody else. And I'm like, instead of saying something about somebody else, how could I face it inward and realize, like, okay, maybe I'm a problem in some regards, and how can I reconcile that in my life? Um, and for the last year of my life, writing music and being able to put all these thoughts into words and then putting them into songs, it's been very therapeutic, and, like, my mental and physical health has gotten a lot better from it. So, like, with you, like, reaching out to do an interview, that's a way for you to proceed into figuring out who you are as a creative. Like, I didn't really know I could be a vocalist until after I'd interviewed hundreds of them for my podcast, Trevor Talks. Like,
Oh, okay.
I didn't realize that it wasn't us and them, it's us. Like, we're all built for different things.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And if you have, like, if you've got goals and aspirations and maybe you're just like not courageous enough to proceed with them yet, maybe you could start taking some baby steps in that direction. And for me, like I do believe that there was a lot of insight that was given to me from these artists that I was interviewing and such that I took note of and was like, hey, maybe I can do this. And it took me becoming so like geared towards building a brand and stuff and becoming the persona that I ended up at the end of my road in like the ER from like severe exhaustion, just severe panic attacks. I
Wow.
weighed 105 pounds. Like it wasn't fun. Like I
Yeah.
had to go through some hurt to get to the place where I can heal. And I don't think I could have created music or created curated Heal the Hurt as a message without that. Like, I needed to go through all that hurt and go through all that baggage to realize, oh, maybe there is more to life than just what I've been feeding myself or allowing myself the opportunity to be. And I think you're never gonna stop growing if you're doing life right, you know? Like,
Hmm.
you live, you learn, you love, and you learn that there maybe are some things that you've done that you wouldn't do again, or maybe there's some things that you wanna do that you haven't allowed yourself to do.
Right.
And for me, it's less about wondering, "Man, how could I have done this better?" without saying, "Oh, like, maybe I could have done that better." And maybe moving forward, I can allow myself a little more grace to learn and apologize and be a better person.
Yeah.
So, healing is always gonna be the root of it. Like, I don't want our some of our songs don't have, like, positive endings in it. Like,
Yeah.
Withering is straight up about my battle with panic disorder, like, and
Bro,
it's
that's
very raw, real.
I just got
Like
done listening to that. That's so crazy.
yeah, like Withering is, straight up, like, what I tried to hide for 10 years, and it's like, "Okay, I'm gonna put it out there, and everybody's gonna be able to see it, there's no hiding it anymore," and I found a lot of healing in that.
Yeah.
Like, when you put on a cinematic, like, element of your darkest moment, like, everybody sees that, like, your family, your friends, and of course, like people that gravitate towards this style of music, they see it and I wasn't acting in that. Like I was really not having a great day. Like I didn't, I had that imposter syndrome of who am I to be an artist at that point. So I had to overcome panic attacks that day.
Wow.
Um, so it's one of those things where yeah, they'll be there, but at the same time, like I'm not gonna let it stop me from becoming who I am. Right?
Right.
Sometimes you just gotta bite the bullet and, like, you're gonna have to do things that aren't easy. You're gonna have to do things that are freaking hard, and you're gonna have to wake up every single day and, like, maybe it doesn't make sense financially or maybe it's hurting right now, but you know what? If you're built for it, are you gonna keep doing it or are you gonna give up? And
Right.
I think a Taylor Swift lyric is actually, um, the best art never got something along the lines of the best artists never created art out of fear, like, something in that,
Yeah, yeah.
regard. And it's like, I think that's true. Like, maybe some of the best, like, filmmakers never picked up a camera because they were afraid of what their siblings or their parents or their hometown would think about them. Like, "Oh, he's too artsy," or this or that. Maybe the best interviewer never interviewed because he was afraid of what people would think.
And
Like,
that's yeah, that's kind of crazy that you
kinda
say
where I
that.
was.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
literally
that's
yeah.
where I was. It's like, who am I to be a metal vocalist when it should have been like, "Oh, maybe I can," you know?
Hmm.
Um, I grew up on bands like Memphis Mayfire, August Burns Red, Crown the Empire, Woe Is Me,
Oh yeah.
um, We
All
Came as Romans,
all bangers.
like
All
yeah, just
bangers.
bangers.
Yep.
And, then there were bands like Skillet and POD and Flyleaf, and they all had that faith element in their lyrics, and I'm like,
Yeah.
never did I imagine when I was listening to these bands that one day I would be floating in the same wheelhouse with them. Um, two of my closest friends on the planet are Lacey and Josh Sturm. Lacey's the vocalist for Flyleaf.
Oh wow.
I recorded Withering Thieves in the Night and Forgiving the Sickness in Josh's studio. If Lacey wouldn't have come down when we were recording the demo for Withering, I wouldn't have sang on that song. I was gonna let Alec, my bass player, do it. 'cause I didn't know I could sing. She's like, "No, you're trying to sing up here, you need to sing here," and literally taught me on the spot, and the first takes that we did for those are what made the cut for the record.
Whoa.
Um, I wouldn't have done it if it weren't for her coming down and doing that.
So that was your
Um,
first vocal performance was Withering?
yeah, for singing, yeah. I
Wow. Dude, you're
didn't consider myself a
impressive.
singer. I
Wow.
didn't consider myself a singer, and I still have a interesting time with it, like, I'm still learning my tones and
Yeah.
stuff. I think everybody has a voice in some regard, you just have to learn how to use it, and
Yeah.
it's like, sometimes it's embarrassing or like, you feel like it is, but once you let it out, like, it feels I don't think that song would've connected with as many people if it would've had Alex singing it, and not that he's not like, he's one of my favorite vocalists, that's
Yeah,
why he's
I
in my
like
band.
his yeah, I like him. I like his vocals. I
Yeah,
both
but
of you
the
guys
emotion
yeah, both of you
yeah,
guys mix very well,
yeah,
especially clears.
yeah, and Withering, I'm like, that needed my emotion,
Yeah.
and, like, cool, like,
I don't
I'm
think it
gonna
would have
explore that.
captured you if it was
Yeah,
somebody else singing it. And I think you
exactly.
wanted to take control on that. And it
Yeah,
definitely shows
and
in that for sure.
yeah, you have to be open to do things, like, just because 'cause you're good at something and someone challenges you to do better
Mean to
it
cower
doesn't have to
away.
be negative. Yeah, you don't cower away from it, you're just like, "Maybe they know something I don't," and you just kinda have to let go,
Yeah.
and that's their judgment, and if you like the finished product, it's like, "Huh, I never would have known if I would have cowered away from it."
Yeah.
And I heard, Joe Rogan and Andrew Huberman yesterday say something about there's something in your brain that every time you do something that you don't wanna do, that it strengthens something in your brain. I don't it's some sort of cortex. I'm not a neuroscientist, I don't know.
Yeah,
But
neither
it
am I.
makes so much sense, like, every time you take an ice cold shower, every time you do a deadlift or go on a walk, go do vocals or sing, practice, if you love doing it, that's great, but it's not challenging yourself and you're not, like, growing in that regard, like, you can do it as a habit, that's cool.
Yeah.
But there's something about doing something that you don't wanna do that really challenges you, and that's kinda where I've tried to live over the last year. Like, getting on stage, I'm always anxious, always. Um, but there's something about doing it that is also very fulfilling, and it's like, if I don't do it, who is gonna do it?
Right.
Somebody else is gonna do it,
Yeah.
so if I love it this much, why don't I do it, you know?
Right. And that's kind of an amazing thing that I wanted to lead into a question that my boyfriend wanted to ask because
Yeah,
he himself is a singer and he wants to know
yeah.
that what is like your writing process like? What like comes first? Is it the music that comes to you? Is it the lyrics? Like when you sit there kind of like when you wrote this latest EP, for example, right? What
Mhm.
drove you to like, all right, I need to get this out so then people know this is where I'm at in life. You know what I mean?
For me, it's pretty much every song is lyrically, like, written before we get the track to it.
Hmm.
So, I work with a producer to get, like, the sound, vibe, and structure that we want, and it's always for me, like, some bands like, I listened to an interview with Alpha Wolf yesterday, and they're like, "Our songs don't really mean anything, like, we just wanna make tracks
Crazy
that people
shit.
can."
Oh,
And, I'm back. Yeah, they just wanna make songs that people can break stuff to, and I'm like, "We
yeah.
have songs like that, but I can't write a song that doesn't mean anything because what am I doing it?" And for me, at least, like, it has to have meaning, so, like, I always write before we actually get the track, and then I we'll get a track, and I'll be like, "Oh, I've got a song that'll match this," and then we go from there and make it fit. Like, sometimes a lot of times, actually, the song concepts, when we start working it into an actual track, the lyrics will change, and sometimes they'll get a new meaning. Like, our song "Forgiving the Sickness" was called, "Hollow Bones" before in the demo stage, and it had a screaming chorus, and then as we got to recording it, we had another idea for the cleans being, like, super raspy and almost like a Architects type vibe.
Yeah.
Um Architects, Linkin Park-ish,
Yeah, yeah.
um, and it had a different meaning as we were recording it because it's how I felt. Like, if someone um is struggling with depression, or maybe they had a stroke and they're going around and running their mouth and just not acting like themselves, they're sick,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So you have to forgive the sickness, and that's what the song is about. It's like forgiving the sickness is breaking my
Wow.
conscience, so torn up and heartless. Like, they may not understand what they're doing, and in that regard, are you gonna stay pissed at them, or are you gonna, like,
Understand.
maybe understand that they're not all the way there and love them through it?
Yeah.
Because it's easy to just, like, when something's inconvenient to you, throw them away. Like, just get rid of them. Like, "Oh, they're toxic in my life." Or if you truly love them,
Figure it
be
out.
there for them. But sometimes they have to crash.
Yeah.
Like, that song has, like, the mindset of, like, Icarus falling, like, wings forged in wax, all that stuff. Um, Sometimes you find yourself at the end of your rope, or the people that you love, and you're like, you have to really do some heart searching. It's like, am I supposed to walk with this person through this season? Or do I kind of need to let go? And then when they crash, like, just be there for them.
Yeah.
And really hard. Like, Where Hearts Divide is about getting out of a toxic friendship relationship. Um, it sucks when you're in the moment,
Yeah.
but once everything settles down, you're like, okay, like, things can get better from here.
Yeah.
And forgiving the sickness, like, speak the truth through your blood-stained teeth. Like, okay, like, we're
Oof.
getting better. And then,
Yeah.
Where Our Hearts Divide being about getting out of a toxic friendship or relationship, it's like, um, my conscience is worth saving. Like, my spirit's worth saving. Like, I need to get out of this, and that's it.
Yeah.
Like, I just can't be in this anymore. And in that process, the oftentimes, for me at least, the people that I was so, like, pissed at or had done me wrong, I don't hate them anymore.
Yeah.
I don't I don't dislike them so aggressively after that. It's like, "Oh, maybe I had a play in that too."
Right.
Because in the heat of something, it's hard to understand anything because 'cause you're just done with it. But after everything settles down, it's like you can revisit it and be like, "Okay, maybe I could have handled this different." And I just don't get as involved with that person again.
Yeah.
You can forgive them, but some people you just aren't meant to be, like, best friends with?
Right.
Um, and some people can't really grasp what a friendship is and the balance,
Right.
and maybe they do, and you 2 are just like fire and ice.
Yeah.
Like,
It just
you
doesn't
never
work
know.
out.
Yeah, sometimes it doesn't work out, and you have to be okay with that, and there's always a positive twist you can have for things. Um, I don't know that everything happens for a reason.
Right.
Like, like, tell that to the kid's mom who the kid just got shot in his school because a kid woke up and was super depressed and wanted to go hurt people.
Right. Yeah.
Like, did her son die for a reason that day? Like, I don't think so.
Right. Yeah.
Um, like, Christianity, it's like all good things can work together for good of those who love Christ. That dude wasn't loving on Christ that day? Like, somebody, like, hits your car and runs. Like, I can't help that dude did that. Like, there
Yeah.
was no reason for this senseless violence, but whatever. Like, there's always gonna be something, and you're not gonna be able to make everybody happy. And I think for me, when it comes to making music, like, I quit focusing on trying to save people and just started working on myself. And hopefully that helps people do the same thing for themselves. Like, I'm not here to judge you. I'm not here to be the cop for your grammar or whatever. Like, I'm an idiot. I think we're all idiots to a certain extent. Like, we do dumb stuff, like human
Right.
nature. We all make mistakes.
Mm.
Where do we go from here? That's my question. And for me, it's like, hopefully I can do better and grow, because if I'm not doing that, what am I doing?
Right. That's really damn. Like that's fucking deep, man. Like you're the deepest person I've talked to. I've seen a lot of interviews and people get deep and you're definitely there, man. it's so crazy because it's like I've listened to you sing, I've watched you perform, and then I've seen you guys play live on YouTube and stuff like that. And then just being able to talk to you, you're such a down to earth dude, and you're just straight up like a human, man. Like I see a lot of myself in you, which is super weird to say
Mm.
because like when you bring up um, you know, leaving a toxic friendship, leaving a toxic relationship. I relate on that so hard, and it's like a lot of your music, especially reading your lyrics, is what pulled me to wanting to reach out to you guys initially.
Mm.
And I was like, these guys are so unknown, they need to be known. And
Mm.
that's what drove me to like go out my way to be like, hey, you know what? Maybe if I start this little podcast thing where I show off these little bands, which I've been doing recently.
Yeah.
I've done it with you guys. I've done it with my other couple of friends that I've been speaking to. Maybe you've listened to them. You ever listened to like Defamed or anything like that?
I haven't yet.
Oh, okay.
I'm getting to live in it now.
Oh,
We're
okay.
living in the moment here.
Yeah. So yeah, a good couple of friends that I speak to is Defamed. Very good band. They're Italian. They're
Oh, wow.
yeah, crazy heavy. And then Making Blind Eyes See. They're both like they both started off small, and then I supported them day one. And it
Yeah,
seems like that's gonna be a constant theme with you guys. I'm gonna be supporting you guys a lot. And
and that's encouraging. Thank you.
yeah, of course. And that's what leads me on to my one question is what is going to be next for you guys? Like, are you guys ever planning on coming to like my state? I'm in Michigan. So I don't know where you guys are from.
We're kinda all over the place. So I'm in Atlanta, Alec is in Cincinnati, and Jared is in Indiana.
Oh, okay.
So, we are we can't really say much on where and when and who with, but we do have our first tour booked for next year in March, which I haven't said anywhere else. Um, so we're gonna start getting out there in that regard. It's wherever we get opportunity is where I want to go. So like
Oh, okay.
I fully I just love making music and being able to go share my heart with people. So like and what you say about like me being human, like yeah, 100%. Like people try to deem like artists as like geniuses and stuff, and I'm like, that's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. Like I don't get it. Like treating Kanye West like Albert Einstein, it just like the dude's smart, but like when you put somebody on a godlike level, it's like, what are you doing? Like
Yeah,
this,
I don't go that far.
like no, like in our song Ruin, where I say I'm the king of nothing, and then put the like it's I'm the king of nothing. Like literally, who am I?
Yeah.
Um, you can go through all this stuff, and when you come out on top, even though you're victorious, you still have to realize, who am I? Like I'm the king of nothing. Like nothing
Yeah.
at all. Like we're all human. Nobody's better than one another. Some people might make more money or have more influence, but who who are we? Like
Right.
at the end of the day, if we're not supporting one another, like I told you, I got my start interviewing people just like you're doing right now.
Yeah.
I'm no better than you. Like, but here we are 10 years later. Like, and I'm 27. So like I started pursuing towards the music industry as a whole around the age of 13.
Oh,
And
wow.
like
Okay.
it's metalcore has always been a safe haven for me. Like that's where I've found a lot of purpose and love and gratitude. So being able to create music for a genre that I love so much, that's what I want to do. Like and being able to go play shows, like that's icing on the cake. It's so much fun. You get to meet people and hear their stories and whatever wherever the conversation leads, like you get to hear what real people are going through,
Yeah.
and none of us are more important than the other. We all share the same experiences and stuff. I just communicate it a little bit differently. and
Right.
people can hopefully gravitate towards it and feel less alone.
Yeah.
So,
I definitely
like
felt
I said,
um I was just saying I definitely felt that in your guys' music for sure. And definitely one of my questions, another question that really kind of interests me is does I kind of want to bring this in because I kind of seen this being discussed earlier because I've seen a lot of
mhm,
like AI metal artists and stuff like that.
mhm.
Do you have that fear of, AI potentially taking over what you guys are trying to create out of curiosity?
No, if there's one thing that I see time and time again, AI doesn't have a heart, a soul, or human experience. Like,
Right, yeah.
AI can be a tool to help create stuff, and get ideas if you need it. Like, I I am at a place where I'm like, I hear AI music and I'm like, "Oh, this is AI." Like, you can tell.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
It doesn't have emotion, it's just meh, 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 meh.
It's kind of
And
like just straight vocal. There's nothing there.
yeah, yeah, and, Randy I think his name's Randy Travis, he's a country singer that has, like,
Oh, yes. Yes.
yeah,
Mhm.
like, he's able to write music, and he can't sing anymore, but there's AI that sounds just like him and is able to give him his voice back in a certain way, and a lot
That's
of people got so upset about that, and I was like, "So you want the man to just sit here and die, like, not doing what he loves? Like, are you a freaking idiot?" Like,
yeah, no, I get that.
this guy is a country legend, and now he's able to make art again, and like, you're at home on your keyboard, like, and there's nothing wrong with that. But don't judge this guy. Like, I think it's awesome. Like, if you can use it to create something, cool. But in regards to my band and what we're doing, I cool. Like,
Yeah.
I'm not judging people that use it at all. Um, I just don't think it's gonna replace human experience and emotion. So AI isn't really a concern. Yeah, and again, like anything can be a tool, but in regards to songwriting and creating music, I'll believe it when I see it.
Yeah.
Like, and maybe it does, and I'll be pleasantly surprised and I'll be the first to say it, right?
I,
But I
I,
don't see it.
yeah, I think the only, and I'm going to say this with kind of like a grain of salt because I listen
Sure.
to a lot more people than AI, but
Yeah, absolutely.
there's one person I think I would put into that AI spectrum that's actually decent, which is Boy What. And
Yeah, dude, and he's making like the Patrick, like
yeah,
the
yeah,
SpongeBob
yeah, the
metal.
plankton stuff. Yeah,
That stuff is, like, low key a banger, but it's promoted as, like, this is AI, and like I said, that's an amazing tool, and they're doing a great job with it, like,
yeah.
that dude has to be a producer, like, there's no way it's just straight AI, like,
Oh no, he
he's using
is.
tool to create, like, and I think it's sick, like, when I heard, the SpongeBob bops, like, with, Plankton,
Yeah, yeah.
I was like, this is freaking gnarly, like, this is sick, like, I like this, and he's crushing it,
Oh
so,
yeah.
like, if it's used as a tool, like, that's sick, but you could tell it's AI.
Oh yeah, no, it's so
Sounds
basically what he does, I've looked into it. So what he does is he does the guitar himself. He does all the instrumentals himself, and then
mhm,
he takes his normal vocals and then he records it, and then he has this
yeah,
like thing that replaces his voice with AI, and then that's what
that's sick.
creates the plankton
Yeah,
voice.
yeah,
And I think
so it's basically another instrument.
yeah, I think that itself is unique, but like I don't like me personally, I don't like the reason I don't like AI is I kind of find it a little bit lazy where it's like if you're using it just as a way to get your platform going, I kind of find that as a little bit of a lazy way to get your platform going.
Mhm,
But like as you're
yeah,
using it as a tool to help you, that I don't see as a problem. Um
yeah. It's funny because, like, if you go into Chat GPT and you're like, "Help me write a song about X, Y, and Z," it's all super generic, like hiding in the shadows, chasing the light, um,
Emo
I'm
stuff.
overcoming the struggle, like, it's all very surface level, and it
Yeah.
doesn't trigger emotion for me.
Yeah.
Um, if I came up with some lyrical ideas, I'll run it through GPT to get structure. Like, how do you structure this? Like, I don't know. Like, or what word can I replace with this filler word to do this emotion or whatever? And you use it from that. Like, that's cool. But I've also seen bands that are literally copying and pasting lyrics from GPT, and it's very not good.
Yeah,
There are
no.
people, if your favorite author is publishing a book every month and it sucks every month, it's probably because it's coming from GPT. Write me a book on overcoming depression. Like,
It's not gonna really
what?
help.
No, it's not gonna help anybody.
Yeah.
And for me, with music, if my music's not gonna help people, why am I making it?
Right. And it's definitely helped. I mean, it definitely has helped me for sure, and that's what made me reach out to you initially. And that leads me into like the last question that I have, which is again, I super appreciative of everything. You know, you giving me your
Mhm.
time and hanging out. I want to definitely meet up again and catch up with you in the
Yeah,
future.
yeah,
Um,
dude. When
so
we come out to Michigan, you'll have to come out.
yeah, yeah, for sure, 100%. So one of my questions that I've always wanted to know, because like I've been trying to get myself into learning vocals, is like how how did you grow that exponentially from like I've heard, Withering. I've heard that, and then hearing like SOS, for example.
Mm.
And you're so different from those two, where it's like you've grown so high up in that vocal range. What what helped you get there as someone
Mhm.
that started from nothing?
And I love that you say it because Withering was one of the first songs we finished, and SOS was the last song we finished. So, like,
Oh,
I'm learning my voice as I go,
oh,
right?
that's crazy. Okay.
And I it's a lot of practice, but then also, like, not being afraid to ask homies for help that have, like, maybe they're really good at it. Like, my friend Mike Felker is the vocalist for the band Convictions. I've
Oh my
taken
god, I love them. Dude,
Yeah,
holy
like,
shit. Okay, sorry,
so
go on.
no, you're good. I've taken, a few classes from him, and then I had a few lessons from Austin Carlisle, who was in of Mice and Men back in the
Yeah,
day,
wow.
and,
Another
so I did, like,
vocalist
2 with
legend.
Austin, and then, Mike Felker, I write all the Heal the Hurt stuff with, and I help him with business stuff on the back end of Convictions, and he helps me, like, with all my music stuff, and,
That's cool.
learning how to use my vocals better has been one of the things that he's been a huge champion on. He's like, "I could tell when you don't practice." And then, like, I didn't know how to do gutturals, like in Ruin, where I go like, like, I didn't know how to project that.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
didn't know
yeah.
how to I just assumed it was like
Yeah, yeah.
type stuff. No, anything can be learned, and it all comes down to practice. Like, if if you see somebody on stage and they know what they're doing, it's because they put dozens of hours in their hot, sweaty garage with a PA system. Like,
Yeah.
you don't just go up there and know what you're doing. Like, it's taking a lot of work. And it's like,
Yeah.
um, back in high school, I wrestled for a year,
Oh,
and
okay.
dude, I hated it. But if there's one thing I learned from it, it's like with hard work, you can really accomplish anything.
Yeah.
The same thing you'll notice with interviews. The more you do, the better you get and the bigger the opportunities get. But the big thing, like in interviewing, that I notice is like it's often less about how good the interview is and more about how you position yourself as a brand. If
Yeah.
you're not focusing on your brand and getting video clips on reels and focusing on marketing as well, that's just as important as interviewing. Like,
Right.
you can get all the opportunities in the world, but if people don't know what you're doing, then how are you gonna grow? So, like, as a vocalist, if I'm not learning and, like, surrounding myself with people that I believe are gonna, like, champion me to be the best version of myself, especially when it comes to vocals, like I said, without Lacey, you wouldn't have me singing and Withering. Without Mike, you wouldn't hear gutturals in our songs. And whenever I was performing live, before I started doing like live lessons,
Yeah.
you go up there with all this adrenaline and you just bleh all of it out without
Yeah.
pacing yourself, and then you lose your voice. When you're on stage, you need to give it like you give it 110 overall, but when it comes to a vocal and like a moving around level, you're hovering somewhere around 70 to 75% because not only are you having to do vocals, but you're having to move around and perform like go do CrossFit and sing while you're doing it. And that's being in a metal band for me, at least.
Okay.
Um, so it's a balance of a bunch of different things, but, when it comes to the actual vocals, I learned how to scream, like, screaming in my car to August Burns Red driving to school on the way in high school,
Okay.
and, hearing bands like, Memphis Mayfire, like, I would just mimic what I heard. Danger Wild Man by The Devil Wears Prada is a friggin' banger
Good.
track, and
Yeah.
I used to
Good
hear
song.
that, and that's where a lot of my high inspiration came from, and Woe Is Me, their album Genesis was just friggin' crazy. So I pull a lot of inspiration from a lot of different places, but still to this day, I'll scream along to new songs in the car. Like, a few bands that I'm really into right now, and albums in particular, is Carnal, the new album from Nothing More, is
Oh,
sonically like
yes.
really a
Yes.
butt rock. It's like a butt rock record, and then it has metalcore elements, and same with the
Yep.
Ghosts Inside's new record. It's basically a butt rock record with metalcore and hardcore influences. And then, on the heavier side of the spectrum, I've really enjoyed listening to, Falling in Reverse, the song Ronald, and they have
Okay.
Tech Nine and Alex Terrible on there. And then, like Moths to Flames put out a record this year
Ooh,
that's
Monster
just
Flame. Okay.
insane, and it's so heavy, and I'm like, dang. And then like the Amity Affliction is like super eerie, and
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm a very art in my art, I'm very eerie. Like, I
Yeah.
want you to like, when I heard the Amity Affliction song, "You Drag the Lake," and it's like, "You can drag the lake, but you won't find me here." It's like, dragging the lake is what they is code for, like, they're looking for a dead body. Like, that's a very sobering thing to think about.
Oh,
And,
okay.
I went to an Orthodox church yesterday, and they were talking about, John the Baptist, and there's these, like, icons like you'll see in Catholic churches, and there was one of a dude chopping John the Baptist's head off. And John the Baptist is the guy that physically baptized Christ, like Son of Man, the Messiah.
Yeah.
And not to over spiritual, but like seeing the guy that like physically baptized Christ here on earth getting his head chopped off is
That's
like,
kind of rough. Whoa, that's
yeah,
raw.
nobody's exempt from persecution. Like, and I don't think we're all like built to go down as a uh, earlier, like some things don't happen for a reason. But when I saw that, I was just kind of like, man, like, am I willing to die for what I believe in? And it just wrecked me. And it's like, I don't want people to feel like they're getting preached at, but the best way I can be authentic is to be honest with what I've gone through in my life. And when I hear records like Nothing More's new record, it had a little spiritual approach in it. And it's like, I can be honest about what I'm going through without fearing persecution because I'm not like shoving it down your throat.
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
I'm trying to tour with bands that aren't like in the faith world. Like, I'm not trying to limit myself to a
Just
certain pocket of the genre. Like,
yeah.
I have aspirations to play like big festivals and stuff at some point. I'd love to do that. Um,
Yeah.
and I just want to make music with some hope in it, you know?
Yeah. That was actually going to be one of my. That was actually one of my other questions I had to ask because I. That's one thing I actually wanted to know. As somebody
Yeah.
that's starting to get recognized now, you're finally
Yeah.
starting to get somewhere. You're finally getting your feet off the ground. Who are your dream people to actually play with in a in a set list and stuff like that? I gotta know.
Amity Affliction,
Okay.
number 1, and, man, such a good question. I love bands like Moths to Flames, August Burns Red, but when it comes to tour, like, I don't know what it is, the Amity Affliction, like, their theatrics just feel very close to what I wanna do, so, like, you'll hear a lot of, like, influence from them in our stuff. Um, I'd love to play with them, and, just as, like, a full circle moment, I think it'd be cool to play a show with Skillet because that was, like, my
Yeah.
gateway into, like, heavy music. Um, so, yeah, like, I'll say Amity Affliction's, like, the number 1, and then, like, I love, ABR, August Burns Red's fan base, like, it's a bunch of cool people.
Yeah.
Um, really, anybody I'm not gonna discriminate, like, I'd love to play shows with any band that have us
I
out,
c-
really.
yeah, I could definitely see you rocking with the definitely couple people that you should definitely like I would suggest you listen to. Like
Mhm.
definitely like because you guys' music definitely somebody kind of pointed it out and I definitely agree and it's a very complimentive thing. You guys remind me very heavily of Wage War. I don't know if you guys ever heard of
Oh,
them.
that's sick. Yeah, they rip.
Yeah.
Their new record is super, like it's very
Oh,
different from,
oof.
like, Blueprints
Yeah.
and Deadweight, but, like, they're doing their thing, man, and they've got a great fan base too, like, they just did a tour with Nothing More, like,
Yep.
well, that would've been a dope tour to be on, like, sign me up. Like, when you've been doing something for over 10 years and you wanna branch out and do something different, like, I know a lot of people had their mixed reviews on it, but, like, hey, if you wanna if you wanna branch outside of your genre, like, I don't see a point in not doing it,
Yeah.
right?
Mhm.
So, Wage War is sick, I'd love to play shows with them.
Um, that it's funny that you say that because so you've listened. So I one thing I've always wanted to know as somebody that's in a band because I'm sort of in a band. We're not
Mhm.
really we haven't really done anything. We're trying to get stuff together and stuff like that. But
Sure.
as you
Beginning
guys,
stages.
yeah, yeah, right. As you guys are, getting to that point where people are gonna maybe start recognizing you on the street. Um, is there ever gonna be a point where you guys are gonna see somebody live and your guys are gonna be like, oh man, we should go try to hit them up?
Always, like, I'm always down to network, dude,
Oh, okay.
like, I don't I think if you don't shoot your shot, you're never gonna get a chance,
See,
like
that's so crazy. That's what I literally said about this interview. I was like, if I didn't shoot my shot, it would have never have happened.
yeah, if you didn't ask, it wouldn't have happened, so example A, and for everybody listening too, like, if you don't ask, like, how are people gonna know you're interested? And what, they say no, and maybe they think about it later on, they're like, "Hey, we have a slot that just opened." I remember they said they wanted to play with us. Um, I think when you get into this, like, we're in a weird spot where it's like we're still up and coming, but we're around a lot of people that are, like, successful, and it's like, where do you draw the line in it? And it's like, I think it varies per person and per relationship, so, always read the room, like, don't run up to Ronnie Radke, "Hey, man, I've got a band, and I wanna go on tour with you," like, he's going, "Ah, okay." Like,
Yeah,
well,
yeah.
sometimes it's better to not meet somebody right now to have a fangirl interaction too early.
Oh, fair.
Um,
Yeah, that's true.
and I've learned that too. So again, like I think if like sliding in the DMs and just, hey, I really enjoy what you're doing and just being a kind person and letting them know like you really appreciate what they're doing. Sometimes I can spark conversations that lead into stuff like that. But I think there's a time and a place for networking and everything, and I don't see anything wrong with it. I wouldn't have gotten anywhere if I didn't network, right?
Right. Yeah,
So
that's true.
people don't know what you're doing, then how are they gonna know to support you? So
Yeah. That's so are you trying to get signed? Like, is that something that you're trying to branch yourself out to? Like, what is that
for
looking
a
for?
record label,
Yeah, yeah.
nah.
No.
Record labels in 2024, unless they're gonna shovel hundreds of thousands of dollars into your project, just self fund it. Like
Oh, okay.
um, it's, I mean, to each their own. As someone who's coming from the back end of like being on artist teams and stuff,
Yeah.
um, I don't really have great things to say about mini labels.
That's fair.
And yeah, if they get your project off the ground, great. But a lot of times they sign young artists and lock them in terrible deals, and it's like the worst return on investment. Now, labels can get you on tours quicker, but everything comes with a cost. So it's just like a bank loan. And
Oh,
at this
really?
point, I'm like, I
Oof.
would rather work. Like, there's a lot of things I can't do because I don't have label support because it's very expensive to make music and music videos.
Right, yeah.
Like, I've got ideas for 2 more music videos for the CP, and it's just not gonna happen. So, like, maybe when we start touring and stuff, we can do it, but, we're not actively seeking a label deal. I'm very comfortable where we're at, and honestly, like, we've already exceeded a lot of the milestones that I thought we would do in our first 2 years, nor the less the first 3 months. Like, um, if a label comes along and, like I said, they wanna, like, co-sign, like, "Hey, we not co-sign, but, like, sign us under the, like, hey, we really believe in what you're doing, and we wanna shovel, like, a bunch of resources and open up opportunities for you," that's one thing, but just to get signed, to say we're on a deal, like, no. Like, we've talked with some labels that are decent, like, but it
It's not
was
worth that type ordeal.
yeah, it's just like, I mean, I've already, like, done everything at this point,
Oh,
like,
okay.
unless you're wanting to, again, like, shovel tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of dollars into a project, like
Let me know. Yeah, okay, I get
yeah,
what you mean.
because a lot of labels are signing people based off a viral moment, and then they're like, "Hey, just do that again." And
Oh,
then if you're not doing that, and then sometimes they'll sign bands that are starting to get steam and taking steam away from their big cash cow, and they'll shelf you just to where you're not competing with their big artists. You see that a lot
whoa.
in pop, um, like you see it a lot in pop, like,
I didn't know that
this artist
actually.
is starting to get big, and they're starting to compete with this artist, and then, "Oh, where did that person go?" Like, "Oh, they got shelved. They got signed to Columbia, and they got shelved." Um, you
Huh.
see it in rock too, like, they will they'll give you, like, $100,000 advance, and then they'll shelf you for 3 years. Who can live off of, like, for a five-piece band, $100,000 for 3 years of not making music, you can't tour?
Oh,
Like, nobody can live off that, so you're
no.
working a dead-end job, and you're contractually obligated to only release through this label that's not gonna let you. Um, and that's a case-by-case scenario, and that's is an extreme, so I don't wanna say, like, all labels are terrible, but, um, even over the last few weeks, like, I've just been heavily reminded on how, in some regards, they're all the same. A lot of promises with no follow through. They'll promise you the world and give you nothing.
Oh,
I was working with an artist that I was developing with another artist manager. Guy came in full swinging. We're gonna do this. We're gonna do that. When it came down to it, he didn't do crap. So,
oh,
like,
that's rough.
wasted hours of conversations. Um,
Just
it could have been
waste,
avoided.
yeah, just wasted manpower at that point. It
Yeah,
was just a
yeah, and got this artist's hopes up. Like, promise
that,
them the world and give them nothing, and
and
then make it their like, it's the same game with all these labels, like,
that's kind of sick in a
mm,
way.
somebody
Very
could prove me wrong, like, and I'm very open to it, like, if Sumerian or somebody wants to come along and be like, "Prove me wrong," like, sick, like, they've got Bad Omens and, a bunch of artists right now, and they're doing great with them. Like, I'm down to chat, but up until this point, like, I can't name a label that I've had amazing interactions with. I've got some that I'm cordial with and, like, have done projects with that are fine, but, like, at the end of the day, like, kinda like when you get your dream job and you figure out it's a job, like, there's always gonna be something to complain about.
yeah.
You can have the best manager in the world, but they're gonna do something that irks you. You can get your dream car, and you're gonna find something about it that annoys you. You're gonna go to a church, and somebody's gonna get on your nerves, like, it everywhere you're gonna find something wrong with. So I'm like, in the record label industry, I've got a song pretty much about it called "Thieves in the Night" on this EP, and yeah, like, go read them lyrics and tells you exactly where my thoughts are. And I'm totally open to somebody proving me wrong, but like I
I
said,
don't
I
think you're
mean,
wrong at this point.
yeah, like last week I was reminded of how many promises can be thrown at an artist and then no follow through.
Can you by chance can you talk about it or no? Because I'm like kind of
Uh, I'm
curious.
not I'm not down to
Like you don't have to. I'm just
no,
like
like, I would never say who it is or what they're doing, but I'm working with a client that's actively seeking a label deal, and this, label came through and was like, "Hey, we've approved this production budget, and you're gonna get this advance, we're gonna have you with this producer." Have all this stuff, like the red carpet laid out, and
yeah.
then we went 3 months of conversations just back and forth to get ghosted, and then we reach out, "Hey, what's up?" And they're like, "Oh, we're still working on it," and then come to find out this person didn't even have the authority to be having these conversations
Wow, that's
after we got a lawyer.
crazy.
Yeah, like, there were lawyers involved, and the lawyer figured out. So it's like, like,
Wow.
that
Okay.
reminds me a lot of, it's time and time again, like, the music industry is a very interesting place, and there's a lot of great people in it. Like, I like to pride myself on having, integrity, and I try to work with integrity. So there are gonna be people like yourself that are doing interviews and have a pure heart, and I don't think they're out to be savages, not all of them at least, but there's a lot of, stuff that gets swept under the rug,
Yeah,
and
definitely. And
I don't work with a lot of labels for a reason.
yeah.
Most of my clients are independent bands that don't wanna be with labels, and then, like, I've got an amazing relationship with Blood Blast, which is owned by Nuclear Blast Records.
Yeah, okay.
He'll releases through Blood Blast, which is an independent, like, for heavy music, independent label for heavy music, and they don't own any of it, it's a licensing thing, they help with all the playlist placement, pitching, and all that good stuff, and I've had great relationship with them, like, Bryce, who is our A&R with them, has been amazing. I've got several clients over there with Blood Blast. I'm not contractually obligated to even say we're with them. I just think they're amazing, and if you have a heavy band and you wanna release music, they're a great place to go knock on their door.
Oh, okay.
The least they can say is no. And there's other, like, agencies like STEM, that's an amazing they're very hard to get into. We probably couldn't get in with them, but I've heard nothing but great things about them. 1 RPM has been awesome, for some clients. And again, like, there's probably a deal for everybody that would be a win-win, but if you don't have leverage going into it, you're probably not gonna have leverage, and you're probably gonna be at the bottom of the totem pole, so it goes into what you wanna do, like, if your goal is to get on tours and they can get you on tours, cool. If your goal is to have funding to where you can create, do that, but if you're just wanting to get signed because you think they're gonna be able to make something out of nothing, like, if you're not putting in the work when you're not signed, it's not gonna work when you are signed.
Right.
If you're not willing to put in your heart and soul and spend hundreds of hours, whether it's driving to studios, spending thousands of dollars, getting music videos out, marketing it, making social content, um, working to get like publicity opportunities and stuff. Like, if you're not willing to put in the work,
Oh.
be much of a different result when you get signed to a label.
Oh.
So it's like, put in the work. If a label comes alongside you and they want to amplify that, that's dope. But I think a lot of people are like, yeah, we're just waiting for a record deal, and it's like, no, you're just kind of being lazy. Nobody handed us anything, right?
Yeah.
Like, I've had to work hard. We started from 0 followers on Instagram, just like everybody else,
Yeah.
and we're not the biggest band on the planet. You'll see in the coming weeks, like, just leaning a camera up on stuff and shooting social content, like doing some covers here and there, and making mini music videos for like TikTok, just clips and stuff. We're putting in the work, like
Yeah.
everybody else has to do. So, um, what I would say for independent bands that want to get some steam going, start like put yourself on camera. Like, people want to see you, and they want to be able to have that experience. Like, when you see Withering, like, I hope you could feel the emotion that went
Oh
into
yeah.
it
Oh
because it's
yeah.
a real song. Would the song have done as well without a music video? I don't think so. Like, I think there was a very visual play that went into it to help capture that.
Mhm.
So, and it doesn't mean you hire a music video crew. Sometimes it's just picking up your phone and making a video, and you have to get past that hump of like, oh, what are people going to think about me? I don't really care at this point.
Yeah, you're just
Um,
happy with what you're doing.
yeah, you just have to do it.
Yeah.
And a lot of people aren't willing to put in the work. And how many reels or how many TikToks did I put up that literally got 0 likes? It's not too far to go scroll down and see it.
Yeah.
Like, it it is literally maybe 3 scrolls down, you'll see like 5, maybe 100 views and 2 likes. Like, you just have to keep doing it. Like,
Yeah.
some people, and when it takes off, it does. Like, Ruin, our last single with just a simple, like, music video that I stole inspiration from MGK's Rap Devil video. It's just like a heavy rap video for a very aggressive song. We didn't plan for that to get picked up by Revolver. Like, we didn't make it for that. That song almost didn't have a music video until I was on the way to do a song with Lacey in Birmingham, and I called the cinematographer that was gonna be there and asked them if they would film for, like, 2 hours just to help me out.
Yeah.
And so, literally, just asked a friend for a hand, and that's the, like, lowest budget video we had, and that's the one that I think Withering and Where Hearts Divide set it up for that to get seen by
Yeah.
them. But it's just funny if you ask me, like, the biggest press placement we got was from Revolver off a video that was next to nothing compared to the cost of doing Withering and Where Hearts Divide.
Yeah.
Like, you have to put in the groundwork, and then people start to pay attention, and we may never get a Revolver placement again. That's cool.
Yeah.
Like,
But hey, who
uh
knows?
yeah, like, who knows? And you have to be open to that too.
Mhm.
Um, People could quit listening tomorrow. Am I still gonna make music? Probably.
I could tell you right now, I'm not gonna stop promoting your guys' stuff. I'm
I
gonna
appreciate that, man.
Oh yeah, no, like I ever since I've listened to you guys, and what's so funny is that it was Spotify that actually recommended me your guys' music, and I
It's
was
nuts.
like, yeah, and I was like, who are these guys? I was like, Heal the Hurt, and I was like, interesting, okay,
Yeah,
and I read your guys' biography, and that's what like I said in DMs, that's what really got me interested in wanting to chat with you was just your biography was just very upfront of who you are as a person. And I was like, this person, at least the vocalist and the band themselves, at least have this mindset where they don't have this, I guess, like this totem where they put themselves as like an ego. They don't have
yeah,
like I kind of from other bands, it's hard for me to like reach out to them and be like, "Hey, let's do an interview possibly," when it's their HR that I have to go through or I have to
mhm,
go through their touring manager and possibly then get to talk to them. Like
yeah,
it sucks. And then I have like a lot of fall throughs, things don't work out. And then like with you, it worked out and then here we are. And
yeah.
I really hope that with you, um, not only you guys are very successful and you guys only go nowhere but up, but I see you guys just coming out with absolute bangers. That's all I
I
see.
appreciate. We we're gonna get heavier as we go. So
Oh, okay.
um, all the stuff that we're working on now is it's a lot heavier.
Oh, okay.
And some bands say that, like, "Oh, it's gonna be our heaviest stuff." Yeah, like, nah, like, most of our new songs have, like, 2 breakdowns. Like, who wrote the playbook on what a metalcore song can be? Like, why does it only have to have 1? Like, I want 2. How about that?
I was gonna say this
Um,
is not like 2009 anymore. It's not just one chunky breakdown.
yeah,
Uh,
and I pull a lot of inspiration from, like, the early metalcore days, but also, why not try something new? So, I wanna make heavy music, and the subject matter is gonna maybe get lighter, but we'll still have, like, the emo bangers too. Um, as we get older and live and learn, like, I wanna continue to be vulnerable and honest, but at the same time, the sound will evolve and, yeah, it gets heavier, which I'm excited about.
yeah. I'm just very excited to just have this just very personal one-on-one conversation with you and seeing other people do it. They ask like the very bare bone questions.
What's your favorite color?
Yeah, yeah, like, can you tell me, like, what made you guys start the band and everything? Like, nobody wants to know that. Like, I want to know, because for me, I'm interested in knowing everything behind of the band. Like, what's it like making a music video? Because I don't know what it's like
Uh,
making a music video.
hard, exhausting, um, relentless. You perform the same song at 100% like 6 or 7 times, if not more. Some
Oh,
video shoots go from 7 a.m. to 9 p.m. Like
wow.
some music videos, like it really depends on the video. Like Ruin, we shot in 2 hours. And you can definitely tell, like, there's a lot of things I wish I could have done different, but at the same time, like, if you keep like fixing things and tweaking it, it'll never get released, and then you never put anything out. So it's like at some point you have to take your hands off of it. It's done. Like,
Yeah, you're just
go
happy
leave
with
it.
it.
Yeah, so, music video shoots are long, dude, like, and
Okay.
it's exhausting because you're like, "It's gotta look cool, so I'm just going to town." And they're like, "Alright, run it again." And I was like, "I need to catch my breath, dog." Like, I'm tired.
Like,
It's
so
like an old man.
So when you're actually there performing in a music video, are you? I know this sounds stupid. This probably sounds
Huh.
just stupid, but like, are you actually performing vocally live while you're doing that performance, or are you just using the backing track? Like, you get what I mean?
So, yeah, so it depends on the artist. So, like, I always do a combination of both.
Okay.
So, like, for Withering, for instance, like, the clean vocals, like, I like for you to be able to tell I'm singing, so because there's, like, a vocal cord that
Pops up.
shows through.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and then for a lot of the screaming stuff, I'll just do, like, like, just mouth it out, and I'm not screaming it, but I'm saying it to where you can see the vocal cord moving. It
Oh, okay.
it's half and half, so, like, some takes I'll do it full, some takes I'll do it half, some takes I won't do it at all. It really depends on how you're feeling, and, like, I take note on what I do where to where we have takes from all of it, but some artists lip sync the whole time, and that works too. Like, if you're good enough at it, nobody will know, and every artist is different. For me, I'm like, it depends on how I'm feeling too. Like,
Yeah.
and if we're on like tour or something, I need to save my voice. So I try not to shoot music videos on show days. Um, so yeah, it's very different, and like I said, like shoots can go anywhere from 12 hours to 2 hours. Like it really just depends on the video, the budget, how many people are involved, how many meal breaks there are, if the cinematographer needs a smoke break or whatever. Like
Oh,
it really
okay.
just there's so many factors. We haven't had a 12-hour shoot. I've been on set for 12-hour shoots. They're not fun. Music videos are fun, don't get me wrong, but it at some point it does become work, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Just like you go to work and you can love your job, and some days you're like, oh, like I'm tired. Um, but yeah, it really depends on the person and the band. Really, there's a lot of factors that go into it, but they're fun. They're just tiring.
Yeah, I just think of like, you like I think of like just any band in general. They're just in the studio and it's like kind of like how they were in a garage. They all just
Mhm.
jam out, I'm assuming it's kind of like that.
Especially the drummers, and the drummers are obviously playing like full fledged, and then the guitar players are playing, but they're not. It's not going to an amp or anything, right? It's just on the. They're just playing to the track.
Yeah, so sorry about that.
You're good.
My I was turning on the my grandmother was turning on the air conditioning. It was getting way too
Oh
hot
no,
over
you're good.
here. Dude, we were getting you should I don't know if it was bad by you guys, but like like yesterday and the day before, it was like 60 to 50-mile-an-hour winds, bad storms.
Dang, dude.
Yeah, I don't.
Yeah, we didn't have that. It's been pretty hot down here in Georgia.
Oh,
So
so that's where you guys are in Georgia right now?
yeah,
Oh, okay.
it's hot.
um,
Fine though. In the evenings it cools down.
oh,
It's not
okay.
like Texas hot as crap over there.
Oh, okay. So yeah, that's probably like one other thing I did want to ask is um, like how did you guys all meet? Like how did you guys like actually get together? Like, all right, we want to form this.
So I met Alec. Um, he was a fan of the podcast, and so he started commenting on my interviews with Ryan Kirby, Fit for a King, and then Rory Rodriguez from Dayseeker. And I saw his videos, and I was like, "Dang, this dude's good." And we just connected that way, similar to how you and I got on here.
Oh,
And
okay.
then Jareb is in a band called The Protest, and I've been working with his band for 5 years. So it was just a natural, like, hey, you come play with us. And
Oh, okay.
so he's in both now. And right now, the only staple members are me and Alec. Jared plays in like music videos, and when we do like festival stuff, he'll jump in and some tour stuff if he can. But the protest is always going to be his like main thing until we get to where we're touring to where more than he can do. He'll be in with us. So we don't have like set guitar players and stuff.
You
I've
need it.
got like that we'll use to take, but when it comes to writing and stuff, I like writing with a producer and just knocking it out that way. And then I've got a lot of friends in bigger bands, and I'll be like, "Hey, you want to go play some festivals and stuff?" And keep it that way. That way, when you get too many cooks in the kitchen, it's hard to get anything done.
Right.
So
Yeah.
it's been my experience until we find somebody. I'm like, "Oh, dude, I gotta have this guy."
I mean, I'm gonna kind of shoot my shot here. I play guitar. Um,
Yeah,
I've been playing for about
we
like
uh
2 years.
we have a homie named Brandon, which isn't announced yet, that he has a project called Spirit Walker that
Ooh.
he's going to be touring with us,
Okay.
and he's producer and does his thing really well. And his kids love Heal the Hurt. His he likes the songs, and I'm like, dude, come on. But again, you never shoot shots, or you never get opportunity without shooting your shot. So it's it's like for opportunities that pop up, they're often when you least expect them.
Yeah. Definitely. For myself, as someone who's like, I've grown up playing Guitar Hero and all that fun stuff, and then I got myself a real guitar. Um, I've always just wanted to strive myself to be a part of a band, whether it, I'd rather be preferably heavy because that's what I'm good at is heavy metal and I can write something that's heavy. But one thing I struggle with is like solos, and it's like with that,
Mhm.
like with
You
your.
don't have to be a solo band though. You can just write chugs.
Oh,
Like
okay.
bands like Knocked Loose, Kubla Khan. There's not like solo stuff, and sometimes it starts with just finding one person that wants to jam with you, and then you go from there. And a lot of bands don't write their tracks; they work with producers. So like,
Okay.
there's yeah, there's if I were to, and what I did do earlier last year, you find a producer that you want to work with and you start writing. And then once you start to figure out your voice, your sound and stuff, then you start to build your band based on the direction you're heading, and you'll meet people along the way that you become really close friends with, and you end up in a band together. Like,
Yeah. I Yeah, I hope one day that happens to me cuz it's like
yeah,
with you guys definitely inspire me to like get a part of something like that because it's absolutely mind-blowing just your guys' sound like some of my friends who are way better guitarists than I am, who definitely, they play for bands and stuff like that. And, they pursued me to get a guitar and stuff like that and helped me with everything. And I've showed them your guys' stuff, and they've told me, one of my friends, he's a really good producer. He said that the way you guys mix everything, like the drums, the guitar, the vocals, everything is just so perfect.
mm,
There's nothing like too much, there's nothing too little. And there's other bands that I've listened to that me and him have both pointed out where, you can kind of hear a little bit too much of, oh, you can kind of hear more of distortion over the vocalist, and then,
mhm.
you can't really focus on those things. And where with you guys, it's like we can. Especially with my headphones, I have special headphones where I can hear a lot of things, and
Mhm.
I can hear everything with your guys' music. I could
Yeah.
sit there and like be like, all right, this is where the drums are playing. That,
Yeah.
that you
We
know.
um we had Ryan Latrue who was a guitar player and clean vocalist for a band called For Today.
Oh, okay.
He mixed and mastered our record, and well, I told him what we wanted, and he mixed and mastered the crap out of it. And I was like, "Dang, like we sound cool."
He
um,
cooked. He cooked, bro.
yeah, he
Like
cooked, dude. He's he's great. Like he made us sound huge. I was like, "Dang,
he
I
def
never knew it was possible."
yeah. You bring up Crown Magner, right? And
Who?
Crown Magner,
I don't know what that is.
one of the bands, Crown Magner.
Oh, Crown the Empire.
Oh, Crown the Empire. Oh, whoops.
Yeah,
Okay, there's another band, my bad, that I would
very good.
definitely suggest you listen to. Crown Magner, okay?
Okay.
And the lead vocalist kind of reminds me heavily of you with the beard. Just not, he's very built. Like
Yeah.
holy shit. Like he's like Alex Terrible type built. And
Oh, dang. So he's cooking in the
oh
gym.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Like he's like the type of guy that clearly did not miss leg or arm day. um
I've skipped quite a few.
um you and him vocally sound almost kind of alike with the gargles and like the crazy
Yeah.
shit. What I like to call the crazy stuff.
Yeah.
Um what uh before I let you go, I feel like I'm about I'm sorry, this is
Oh, you're
way
good.
uh
You're good.
okay. Um, one other thing I'd like to ask is like, like you said, the vocalist, the girl singer was the person who helped you teach you how to do vocals, right? How to get you to where you are,
Lacey,
right?
yeah.
Yeah.
For cleans.
For okay, she helped you with cleans. So who helped you
Mhm.
with doing everything else that you know?
Mike Felker
Okay,
of
some
Conviction.
okay, so Conviction, so the lead singer of Convictions helped you. Okay.
Oh,
I think you picked probably the best guy out of
oh,
like
yeah, their new record rips, dude.
oh
Like,
I've heard
pig
it.
squeals, everything was just nuts.
I couldn't believe it. Like
Yeah, gnarly.
I was like what the I was like what the fuck? Like
Yeah,
people can do that?
it's yeah, it's that dude, he's put in work. I was like, dang, dude, that's 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 something.
Like I'm assuming you've heard Lorna Shore, right?
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
oh yeah,
okay. Have you
yeah.
have you ever spoken to him or no?
I've not. He's a great vocalist, so dang. Like Lorna Shore was a band long before he was involved, and once he joined, like it was like icing on the cake, ready to go.
Oh, dude, it was it was like how do you put it? When Alex Terrible and Will Ramos are gonna do like a collab, it's gonna be like the absolute craziest thing in the world.
Oh yeah, it no doubt. Um,
That's one thing I wanted to
that was
ask is like,
cool.
yeah,
A
do you like
collab.
other people like that?
Yeah. Um, I like collabing too. So like the Holy Name thing was really awesome, and then we've got a few more we're gonna work on over the next few months. That are very heavy, so it'll be fun.
Okay, so we have. I know that you probably can't really say much because obviously you want to build up the anticipation. But are you allowed to say at least who one of the features are? I'm kind of curious if you're allowed to say.
Mm-mm.
No, no.
It's they're cool, but they're not for my band, so until they announce, I can't really
Oh,
say
okay.
anything.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say like I'm kind of like anticipating like you're saying heavy, so I'm over here like I feel like you could pull something out of your ace out of your hand.
Yeah, I'm down to clown, so we'll see what comes about. I'd love to have like Alex Terrible on a song. That'd be crazy.
Holy shit, that Russian guy on your guys' track. Oh my god.
That'd be nuts. That'd
uh
be good.
yeah. Before I let you go, um is there anything that you would want to say to anybody that is potentially maybe aspiring to be where you guys are today maybe?
Yeah, start with what you have. You There's people around you that have the same interests, so don't be afraid to branch out and try to work with them. It's very common for people to think, "Oh, that's a dumb idea," or "I don't wanna people to think I'm trying to do what they're doing." Like, nobody cares. Like, if you lose 100% of the time, you don't try. So, like, for me, starting a project started with writing and getting my vocals right, and then working with a producer, and then, like, learning my voice, which I'm still learning to this day. Um, if you're doing it right, you never stop learning. So don't be afraid to take baby steps. Like, not everything has to be this grand step. Sometimes it's literally just writing a band name down on a sheet of paper and putting it on your mirror and being like, "Yeah, I'm gonna start a band." Um, Talk with your friends, talk with your family. Like, somebody out there has similar interests, and you got to start somewhere. So start.
Yeah, okay. Wow. Fucking inspirational, dude. I have to say, man, this is probably one of the most coolest surreal experiences I think I've ever had in my lifetime. And I
Mm.
cannot generally thank you enough for giving someone like me who's an absolute nobody the,
And
you know, the
I'll stop you
platform.
there. I'm the king of nothing. Um, we're all Nobody's better than anybody else. Nobody's
I know,
um
but like, there could have been
it's
somebody else way better that could have hit
and
you up
I'll
and
talk to them too.
oh, that's fair.
Everybody deserves a chance. And like I told you, um people gave me a shot and that's how I got started. So I'm humbled to be a part of your journey in that way.
Yeah, and you definitely have been, man. And you've been definitely probably one of the coolest dudes that I have ever, and I can definitely say this without a doubt, and I generally mean this, one of the coolest dudes to ever come on this platform.
Let's
And
go.
just continue being who you are, man. And I cannot wait for more of your music to come out, and just having this personal connection with you now I can just now I have more of that connection with you guys, and it's definitely probably the coolest thing for me, and I cannot thank you guys enough. Um,
Dude, for sure. Thank you for extending the offer. I enjoyed it.
yeah, of course. And the only thing left I can say is, um, for your guitarist who plays for you, he's an absolute fucking legend. Tell him to keep on
Let's
fucking
go.
shredding that out. Like, I have a little surprise for you before you go. Um, I have a little something for you.
Okay.
I need to, before I do announce it, do you guys play on a six string? You play on a six strings, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So what I'm gonna do for you is, because I have a good friend who tabs out music and charts out music for the game I play, and I can learn your guys' music. So what I'm gonna do is
Oh,
I'm
that's tight.
yeah. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go hit him up. I'm gonna send him a couple of your guys' music, and I'm gonna have it charted. And one of these days, I am gonna hit you up, and I'm gonna be like, "Hey, bro, here you go," and I'm gonna cover one of your guys' songs as a little thank you.
Let's go, dude.
Yeah,
Dude, that's one thing you can do today to press on towards your goal of starting a band.
yeah. I think I'm gonna do a cover of one. I'm thinking either "Thieves in the Night" or SOS. But
Yeah,
I'm
you like the buggy stuff.
Yeah, I like the I really like the chuggy stuff, especially what you.
Yeah,
The Thieves in the
yeah.
Night is like it hits, but then like SOS has more of those like it's hard to choose.
SOS is more of an emotional song too. So like sonically it was structured around coming out of a dark place. So like I wanted it to feel like you're listening to a cinematic score, but metalcore.
So, how about this? I'll leave it up to you. How what song would you like charted?
Uh,
Any of your
I think the
songs.
most challenging one. I think the most challenging one would be um, "Withering." If you learned the like, that takes a lot. Yeah, but surprise me too.
Okay.
Um, just do it.
Okay. Okay. Just no
Because
recommendations.
literally nobody can do it for you. You have to do it.
Well, yeah, no, no, no. I was saying it's like, would
No,
you?
like I'm saying as a inspirational thing, like
Oh, okay.
you gotta do it. Like somebody,
Oh, yeah. No,
if you don't do it, who will?
no, I'm definitely going to, and that's what I wanted to surprise you with the end of the call. That I
Like,
think what I'm gonna do is definitely give you guys a platform because it's called Rocksmith, and
okay.
basically what it is think of Guitar Hero, right? But rather than playing a fake guitar, you're playing a real guitar, and you're
That's
playing
sick.
like on a tab, but it's a moving tab.
Mhm.
So
Yeah,
technically, I'll be playing your guys' song on a backtrack, but it counts as a cover, if that makes sense.
sure. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's cool.
yeah, yeah, if that makes sense.
Got you. I got you.
But yeah, that's all I have for you, my man. And thank you again so much, dude. You've been an
Yeah,
absolute blast.
absolutely. Yeah, tell your boyfriend I said hello.
Oh, dude, he doesn't really like the heavy stuff, but he definitely likes your clears. He likes
I love it.
uh who's the bassist?
Alec.
That's Alec. Okay,
He
yeah.
also yeah, he sings too.
Yeah, Alec as well. Funny enough, that's my cousin's name. Um,
I love it.
Alec as well. His vocals both very very well, and my boyfriend he's more theatrical singer, so he sings
Yeah,
in plays and stuff like that.
oh, that's cool.
He wants to get into what you do, like doing like the crazy vocals and stuff like that, but he's like he doesn't he doesn't know where to go, and it's like I've told him, I'm like, babe, listen, like, I've sent him like
Just
a yeah, just start. Like the only thing that you can do is do crazy sounds. It sounds stupid. Like, you're gonna sound stupid to begin with, but then it's gonna sound cool. He had
mhm.
this like little zombie growl that sounded really sick, but then like that kind of went away.
Yeah. Yeah, you just gotta start and be consistent.
Yeah, actually, fun enough, he's in chat right now, so he knows that you said
Love it.
hello. Um, I would love to catch up with you again in like maybe in a few months' time
Yeah,
after.
hit us up when you see some fun stuff going on. Slide in the DMs, be like, "What up, dude?"
Yeah, I hit you up on your main
And
Instagram.
you have my Discord.
Yes, yeah, yeah. I'll hit you up on your Discord, and if you want, I don't know, do you game or
I don't.
no? I was
I
gonna,
just write music.
yeah, I was gonna say you probably just write music.
Yeah, that's
uh,
my getaway.
okay. Well, I could definitely say, man, you are you are definitely an inspiration for sure, and definitely one of the coolest people I could ever have on this platform, especially for my Twitch. And I cannot wait for people to see the type of person that you are, because I've looked it up, and funny enough, you've never been interviewed.
Yeah, there's been very few for sure. There's been very few. Um,
I've done some deep digging, and I seen like three or
over my
four.
lifetime, there's probably been 60, but
60?
it's
Really? Wow.
for music, there's been under 20. So,
I
and oftentimes it's like radio and then blog stuff. So podcasts are becoming the main forum that people want to do. but a lot of people don't really use social as they should. So
Yeah, people are not really that smart with social.
yeah,
That's
if you're
why.
not promoting, you're not growing. So it's like if people don't know you exist, how can they support you?
Oh yeah, and literally when I set up this stream today, I set it up as, I started streaming around like 1 and I was like, we have a special guest coming in at 5. It was you, and then, that's how I was going to wrap up the stream, and
Yeah,
I always have it planned out.
that's
Um
cool.
before we end this call, I would like to ask you one last thing. And
Sure.
could I get a nice bleh?
A what? A
A
blah?
Yeah, a bleh.
Bleh!
There we go. All right. I appreciate you so fucking much, my
Of
man.
course.
You've been
Of course.
nothing but an absolute vibe. And dude, it's going to be so funny that one of these days in the future you're going to be on some crazy better podcast than mine. And hopefully you don't forget who I am, my man. And
Dude.
you know, um at least I could tell you a little bit about me real quick because you don't really know much about me. You sat here and told everything about you. At least I could tell you at least a little bit about me before we left. Um, I'm just a guitarist. I started off my community as somebody who did impressions and voices. So I do a lot of voices. I consider myself a voice actor. I've been doing voices since I was 8 years old, and
Oh,
that's been my whole thing. And it started off as shredding Vegeta, and that's my whole persona is just me doing Vegeta's voice. If you're into Dragon Ball.
I've never heard of Vegeta.
Oh, dude, that's damn okay. Well, hey, I don't blame you. But yeah, the whole thing was like I've grown up listening to heavy stuff and just striving to meet my icons, I guess. But like I, I don't want to meet Corey Taylor. I've already met him once in person. I don't want to get into that. He's an interesting person, let's just say that. But like being able to meet people like you, for example, who have the experience where people like me who go through like depression, go through all that shit, bullying, and it's the heavy stuff that gets the anger out, blah blah blah. But then it's like you guys come out with like these meaningful, really actually hit the heart. If you really pay attention, lyrics.
Mhm.
And I think a lot of people are missing out on that reality of people are struggling, and anger all the time is not always gonna be the best outlet, and it's the real life lyrics that you let out that make you feel better. And that's
Mhm.
like what I've grown to growing up. And when I've listened to you guys, it was that whole message just plastered all over. And it was like I have to reach out to these guys. And I never had that confidence to really ask anybody because I never felt like I had that, I guess, that platform of people who surrounded that community of metal where it's like, hey, he will have that attention to actually give me a response, if that makes sense.
Mhm.
And like with you, giving me that opportunity really helps me, feel better about going out my way to find these smaller bands and being like, hey, I do this little thing, and if you guys want to be in featured where I put your guys' music on and like what I do with you guys, I love doing that. And that's what really helped me get to where I am today. And I cannot thank you and everybody else who writes music because if it wasn't for you, it wouldn't be for Jimi Hendrix. It wouldn't be for anybody else in this world that'd be writing music. You have a talent. Don't let anybody else step in the way of telling people. Don't let somebody else that's not you tell you that it's not good enough when you feel like it's good enough. Because that's what I've learned in life is in music is that if you feel like it's good enough for you, and you have some like what you were saying with uh, labels, they want to step in and give you a couple 100,000 to change your image. You don't want to do that. And I respect that heavily, and knowing that you are self-funded and you guys do your own thing where you don't really have hundreds of thousands of dollars and you're not rolling in money. It's
No,
yeah, it come
far from it.
yeah, that comes with a lot more respect. You guys
Mhm.
have so much humbleness in your guys' music, the way you guys, especially when you guys come and talk to me, it felt very personal and it was very one-on-one. It wasn't like, you know, you weren't trying to get me into your guys' music. You weren't trying to promote any of your guys' stuff. It was just, hey, we, appreciate you reaching out. And then we got into that conversation of where we are now.
Mhm.
And it's just crazy to me. And that's just kind of like who I am as a person, where it's like,
Yeah.
I want to give people like you and other small bands who deserve that recognition because, well, I'd be damned if someone like you guys who are heavy as shit have meaningful lyrics and are down to earth people like you're just down to earth. I just can't see how you're not at a million people. Not millions of people already know who you are.
Mhm. Yeah, there is it's kind of sad as a society that it's impressive when someone's humble and nice.
For real.
Um,
Yeah, seriously.
it's it's without people that encourage, motivate, and share these songs, artists can't create. So
Yeah.
thank you for time out of your day to do that. And
Yeah.
um,
Oh, dude, it's more than a fuck.
don't go
It's a pleasure, dude. It's like I'm
you're
seeing,
helping breathe life into the heavy music scene.
yeah,
So
and it's like I'm seeing something I've never like. I've talked, like I told you, I've talked to bands, but I've never really like with you. I never actually got to sit down, vocally got to talk to them and be like, hey, what was your like that was one thing I actually wanted to ask. One thing was like because I wanted to know because you were talking about it, funny enough, was in Withering, right? What was your mindset in that? Like because in that music video, it was very dark. You can't really see anything. It's you're setting this tone of what you're going through mentally. We could definitely see that. What was that whole process of like setting up that and then getting yourself into that mental space of this is how I felt at that stage? You know what I mean?
yeah, it was pretty natural of like all the way down to doing it in a log cabin. That was my life for years. And you see me taking my jacket off, throwing it on the couch, going to get in bed, pop a pill, lay down,
Yep.
um, and then back in the mirror, pop another pill, and then angrily like doing the breakdown in the mirror, puking in the toilet, looking in the refrigerator, which is empty, which is metaphoric for like I would not take care of my body at all. And then at the end of the video, when it starts to wrap up, it shows me going in reverse all the way back to the front door,
Yep.
and the door closes because it was a cycle. And
Whoa.
the hope behind it was to make sure that um, people understand that it was a season. It wasn't just a day, and it's something that I hope that people that are in that season can gravitate towards this song and use it as a vessel of healing to where they can get out alive too, because there were a lot of days that I didn't know if I wanted to make it out of that.
Damn.
And if I didn't, then we wouldn't have songs and videos like that.
Yeah.
So
It's kind of crazy because I'm gonna be a little honest. And I never. This is my first time actually kind of saying this publicly, but like I almost did take my life at 8. At 8 years old, I almost did take my life, and it's like I know what it's like going through that struggle, and it's like watching that kind of like brought me back to those memories, and it was like damn. And it very heavily reminded me of what was the song by Wage War. Um, oh shit. Oh, I like how I'm like thinking of it.
Yeah.
Young Blood. Young Blood. There it is. It's about one of their fans taking their lives at a young age, and they were their big supporter. They made a song about it, and it's like that song hit me too because
Mhm.
like there was a part in the music video where the guy who found his it was his best friend. He found his best friend dead, and
Mm.
he went to his best friend's funeral, and he felt his best friend's spirit touch him, and that's what fucking like I broke
Yeah.
down. I was crying, and that like that's when I knew at that point like metal was my point in life where metal is gonna be my life. And
Mhm.
I never really told anybody about that, and you kind of gave me that comfort to tell you that because it kind of seems like you have kind of had that similar feeling, like that similar experience.
It's a vessel of healing, and um, we're not alone in that.
Yeah,
There's other people that have struggled, and every day is a gift.
for sure.
And for me, I've found a lot of deep meaning and soul searching and my faith and the way I pray, and it's it's a core anchor for me. That's been my humbling process. Is like it isn't about me. Um,
It's about everybody,
mhm, yeah,
and
and
that's what I
we all have
res-
yeah we all have unique purposes, and not one of us are exactly the same. So that's why it's you don't like I want to be just like this person. It's like you're not that person. You could take things that you like about that person and move in that direction, but
not everybody's perfect.
yeah, everybody has their thing. Like Corey Taylor probably had a bad day. Um,
Yeah,
there's there's everybody has them, and it's like, dang, like it wasn't fun, but I think moving forward with grace is so it's a good it's a good cornerstone milestone.
yeah,
Like when you can do that, like okay, I'm moving in a positive direction.
yeah. I just sense like when I first seen you and just seen you smile. I just positive. You know, just your aura is just. I feel your welcomeness through the screen, and it's insane. Like
Mm.
you welcomed me with open arms, and it's definitely it was nice, and that's what it got me to wanting this interview to go even further with the deeper conversations of like you know
Yeah,
the things that we were both struggled with because it's we both struggled through the same shit, it seems like, and we're both around the same age group. Yeah, you're a little bit older than me. I'm 23, but we're
okay.
around the same age group, and it's like it's so crazy hearing hearing what you say is like the same things as I thought a long time ago. Like your
Never know what could
lyrics.
never know what could change in 4 years.
Yeah, I
But
mean,
you have to you put in the work, and you get the results.
yeah,
So like where do you start today? And for me, it was like instead of waiting on other people to extend a hand and do things like for me and guide me, it was like, oh, I gotta do it.
yeah.
So take that encouragement, and it's not always easy. Sometimes it gets very lonely, but it's worth it.
That's wow. That's that's so deep, man. That's like Holy shit. I never thought going into this interview with these Q&As, I never thought that it would go this deep, but like damn, dude. You are such a fun person to talk to. um dude, I got to know, right? Fuck, if you ever had the chance to get like interviewed by Nardward, I'm pretty sure you know who Nardward is, right?
Uh-uh.
No, you don't know who Nardward is,
No, I just write music.
bro. Whoa. Okay, that's kind of crazy.
Yeah.
Nardward is like he's the type of guy that will literally interview you like me, but he will pull things out of thin air from like your childhood, like things that you would only know. Like
Mhm.
there's no way other people would know about this information, but yet he knows it. Like this man knows, like he downloads information while he talks to you. It's crazy. You should look
Yeah.
into him. He's so funny.
Which I am late for my gym appointment, so I gotta let you go.
All right, man.
But
It was a pleasure,
it's been,
dude.
yeah, man. It's every conversation is meaningful, and when you look and you actively start pursuing something, who can stop you like yourself. So don't forget that.
And I appreciate that, dude. That's some amazing, inspiring words. And I cannot wait to speak to you again. I'm sorry for making you late.
No,
uh,
you're good. You're good. I'll be
uh,
fine.
um, all I have to say is, man, just continue being you, man. And, I'm going to continue listening to your guys' stuff.
Yeah.
Um, you guys have a fan right here in
I love
Michigan.
it. Beta Frito.
Oh, that's such a cute dog.
Yeah,
Um,
he's a good boy.
but yeah, I'm gonna let you go. It
Cool.
was such a pleasure again speaking to you,
Yeah,
dude.
of
And
course.
I'll hope to speak to you, and hopefully, maybe one of these times I get to speak to one of your other bandmates. That'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, yeah. We'll make it happen. So
All right,
what's
man.
up? I appreciate you, man.
Yeah, and not as much as I appreciate you, dude. I don't think you understand how much I appreciate this experience.
I again, I appreciate you extending the opportunity, and sure we'll talk again soon.
All right, man. I'll chat with you later.
All right, see you, man.
See ya. All right, everybody. That was Trevor. What a guy. Wow. What a fucking dude. I love that guy. Dude, what the chillest guy, man. That was sick. You are so right, babe. Wow. I'm gonna end the stream here. I appreciate you guys being a part of this 5-hour journey, and I'll see you guys in the next stream. Farewell.